What's up YouTube, Havoc here, and I am back with another video. So today I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what I think to be is the best deck so far for me, in my opinion. For those of you who haven't noticed, if you check back on all my videos, they are all on Arena 5. And the only different arena I have been to in different videos is probably just Arena 4. So I've never made Arena 6 until now. And it's actually awesome, and I use one deck that someone actually tweeted out to me, so I give thanks to him. And yeah, I also use this deck to go ahead and push my girlfriend's account from 4 to 5, so that also works. You only need troops from Arena 4 and below, and if you're stuck in Arena 3, all you need to do is replace the Hog Rider with something like the Prince. Now jumping right into the first replay, I went ahead and deployed my Giant Skeleton. Now I actually did not know that he had deployed the Hog Rider, so I kind of deployed it a little too late, but luckily the Hog Rider did die fast, and I deployed my, what other thing is called Zuka from Boom Beach. I have no idea what's her name in this game, but I dropped my arrows to take out the skeletons, but it was a little bit too late, but at least I did get my giant bomb to explode next to the tower, which does take a huge hit on the tower, so make sure that you try and at least get a giant skeleton to explode or die next to the towers. Now one mistake you want to go ahead and avoid with this deck is try and have your arrows ready to fire at the giant skeleton, because like probably half of the time they're going to deploy a bunch of skeletons or some goblins or like a horde of troops on your giant skeleton to take it out really fast. So don't do my mistake, because or else you're just using elixir for no reason. So one more tip is, if he deploys a wizard next to a tower and you have the fireball available to actually use, try and use the fireball right when the wizard is next to the tower, because that does take him out, and also that adds some HP. Takes away some HP from the tower. So if he's not next to the tower, you can try and counter him with troops that you know will not die very fast with the wizard attacking them. So don't deploy goblins, skeletons, or anything like that against the wizard, because that's just a total waste of elixir. Skipping over ahead a little bit, I dropped some barbarians against his Hog Rider, which does usually take him out pretty fast, and I dropped some troops here. So now it's time to shine, because now I have a bunch of troops trying to target his tower. So he will have some goblins and that Zuka from Boom Beach again. So I get a bunch of hit points on his tower, which now I can drop anything pretty much like a fireball or some arrows and take out his tower very easily. So I went ahead and zapped his Hog Rider, because obviously I don't want him to take my tower there. So I dropped my fireball in a second here. I actually waited till the match. Oh, never mind. I just dropped it right away. So there we go. We got the win. One more second left, and that's pretty much for him. So let's go ahead and move on to the next replay. Alright, so right from the start of the match, I'm going to go ahead and deploy my giant skeleton along with some goblins. Now, if you do plan on doing this, try and have your the fireball, and your arrows ready to shoot at the troops that he is going to deploy in back of his tower, because that usually happens like 90% of the time. So if you do take out his troops in back of the tower, you are pretty much, that's your tower right there. And there we go. The first few seconds of the match, I take down his right tower. What's also great about this combo is that you have the ability to go ahead and deploy some barbarians along with the musketeer and do a lot of damage to the tower. So if you do have barbarians and the musketeer on your card tray, try and go ahead and deploy them together, because you will get at least one hit on the tower, and one hit always does something to your raid. So here we go, dropping a giant skeleton. Now this right here, I actually don't know what I did. I dropped my giant skeleton some goblins, which won't really even do anything, because I had a giant and a balloon on my tower, and they totally wrecked my towers. So now I'm left with just a giant skeleton walking alone and almost dying as well. So now I'm screwed, and now I'm trying to see what I can do to win this battle. So what I ended up doing is dropping the same combo I just talked about, barbarians and the musketeer. And actually, that takes out the tower for me. And now, all I have to do is try and take down his king tower now. So I dropped a giant skeleton and some goblins here and a Hog Rider. Now, this is a crazy combo. I'm not too sure what I was doing, but I was trying to make sure that I can defend against his troops and also try and take down his tower at the same time. So I didn't want to end up having his troops just walk away like from my troops and end up taking my king tower all of a sudden. So that's what I was trying to do, defending and trying to take down his tower at the same time. So I just need a few more hits on the tower, and the musketeer ends up leaving it with 27 HP, and I need something to go ahead and take it down, and I deploy a fireball, and there we go. That is my match. 3 crowns And that's a pretty good replay. So let's go ahead and head over to another replay. And yeah. Alright, so here we're going against a level 6. Now, I usually take level 6s against me as an unfair match, but it is what it is, and there's nothing really I can do. So I drop my giant skeleton again, and I drop my fireball, as I said in the last replay. You want to go ahead and do that because 90% of the time it does work, and you will take out his tower guaranteed. So here we go. He drops a giant, which I'm not even too sure what I'm going to use to defend against that, but I guess I will drop some barbarians because that does somewhat of a good defense against troops. And he does have a hog rider. Now he is being blocked by the giant. He's just trying to walk over him, but by the time he gets to the tower, he only gets like 2 hits on that. And I deploy a musketeer to go ahead and take down his minions. So let's go ahead and see if the barbarians and the musketeer can reach to that tower and get some HP. So as you guys can see, I actually took down 700 from that tower, which is actually pretty good. I can't really lie. That is a very great for just a musketeer. So dropping the giant skeleton once again. And now this time I actually didn't have any troops in back of him, so I tried to deploy a witch, but I waited to see what the giant skeleton did on its own. So if the giant skeleton is on its own, you either want to wait or deploy troops in back of him. Like, you want to go ahead and see what happens, and what he did is deployed a giant on me. So that ended up pushing my giant skeleton farther from the tower, leaving no damage to it. Now skipping over to 60 seconds, he deploys his witch here, and I deploy a hog rider and a musketeer, so my hog rider gets a decent amount of damage on that tower, and now I'm left with just nothing but a fireball, and I take down his tower. And that is pretty much over the replay. I guess the only thing he can do is try and take down one tower, but that won't actually give him the win either. So the only thing I can do here is just try and defend for 30 seconds more, and then that's pretty much it. So 3 seconds left, and he deploys the hog rider, but it's just too late for that. And I also had a horde of troops going to his tower there. So that is pretty much it, guys, for that replay. And now I guess I will show you guys one more replay, and I guess we can wrap up after that. So let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, so this was my first match in Arena 6. Now I deployed my hog rider along with my musketeer, and he does take actually a bunch of damage on that tower. In fact, I think I almost took it out. Did I? No, okay, I didn't. So I only had about 200 left on that tower, which it's actually pretty good for the first, like, what, 5 seconds of the match. So I deploy my barbarians as defense and try and take down his Valkyrie here. And let's go ahead and see what I can do. Giant skeleton down, so I wanted to go ahead and at least have the giant skeleton die next to the tower. And I'm not too sure if I did that though. So let's go ahead and see. I dropped my musketeer, and it does look like he's dropping a bunch of troops to take down my giant skeleton. So he is going to go down, unfortunately, not against the tower, but just far away right next to the Valkyrie. So that does not even take her out, which is pretty sad. So dropping some goblins here, and let's go ahead and see if my goblins can clutch that tower there. So elixir pump down, and then is the tower down? Yes, the tower is down. And now I guess we can try and defend against this hog rider here. So deploy some barbarians, and he pulls down a free spell, which is a little bit too late. In fact, that was kind of late, you know, because his hog rider was not there anymore when he deployed the free spells. So dropping some arrows here takes down most of his troops, and 60 seconds left already. Jumping over to 40 seconds left on the match, I deploy a hog rider and some goblins and a musketeer. So that does not take down a tower, but it does get about half of the health on it, which is pretty good. So here over to the bottom right, he does end up taking down my right tower, which now I'm trying to see what I can do, because I definitely need his left tower to try and win this match. I deploy my hog rider. We have 7 seconds left until overtime, and actually, can that take it down? No. Okay, 333 left. So I dropped a giant skeleton here, but that did not seem to work either because he did die immediately. And let's go and see if I can deploy some goblins and a musketeer here. So he drops a goblin. Now this is beginning to be a nightmare because there's just so much action going on. He's dropping, I'm defending, he's attacking, I'm not attacking. Well, that's basically what you do in a match. But this time, it was a little bit intense because we was just going back and forth with trying to defend against each other. But then I finally dropped a fireball, which, I mean, it was kind of unfair for him because we were both going at each other. But I guess that's one of the cards I had. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the match, guys. I guess that's all the replays I will show you guys for today. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. I'll show the little deck here again so you guys can copy it here. And yeah, so peace out, YouTube. See you on the next one. Peace.